All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. So good to be here.
Yes.
We were just debating which day of the week is your favorite weekday. And Tara was just saying it's Friday because of the book gathering.
Absolutely.
I was thinking she's saying Friday because it's Friday. She doesn't have to work Saturday or Sunday. And I was telling her, no, your favorite day of the week should be Monday.
I have a pillow at my desk that says, this is my happy place. So every time I come in Monday, it makes me smile, and every day. But I really enjoy Fridays because of the book gathering.
That's right.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Except it's not going to be on Fridays anymore.
I know. Oh
We're going to change the day.
We are.
We might as well tell everybody now.
I
Hello,
guess
everyone.
so.
Welcome. We are doing the book gathering with Think and Grow Rich. We've been doing this now for a few weeks. And today we're going to be talking about specialized knowledge.
Absolutely.
Probably one of my favorite things because it's all about how you invest in yourself, your own knowledge, how you become an expert, how you develop yourself personally. So I have so many great things to share with you. So does Dara and Meaghan. So we welcome all of you for being here.
Yes.
It's great to be with you again. We are live on Instagram, Facebook, and Zoom. And it's great that you can join us on whatever platform you prefer, your preference.
Yeah. And I just want to say, if this is your first time joining and you accepted my challenge earlier, thank you for joining and making that time today to really be involved and engaged. And if you haven't read the chapter, that's okay, because all of this is recorded so you can catch up from chapters 1 through 4. And then continue joining us. We're doing a chapter every week. And like Dori just said, we're actually going to change the day. So this will be the day that we're doing our last Friday at 2. And we're going to switch to Thursdays at 4 o'clock. So we'll send out a memo and some announcements reminding you of that. But we're glad that you're here live with us now.
And the reason we wanted to do Thursdays because a lot of you are taking those nice long 3-day weekends, which is nice. That's what we did last week, actually. As you remember, we broadcasted last week from Boca. We were at the Waldorf Resort, and we spent the weekend down there. Do you like the new hairdos, by the way?
I know. Got some shortness going on here, if you haven't noticed. We got a natural, real blonde and a redhead. So, and then we have our brunette, Meaghan.
Here I am, but I didn't get my hair cut, so I'm still long and long.
So to get the most out of this, we would love for you to get involved. Tell us about the wins that you are experiencing. What are some of the things that you have implemented that you are seeing results from? We would love to hear from you and tell us how you are taking all this information that you are reading and also the information that we are sharing weekly. What are you doing with that information? What results is it bringing to you? I can tell you one thing. Those principles are things that I have practiced basically my entire life, and they work. And I want to really encourage you to continue with the process and not give up. Remember, we talked about persistence. We talked about how important it is to have faith. We discussed about monitoring your thoughts and what you really should be doing there to make sure that you are making that desire statement and making that a reality. So we've already covered a lot of things. And again, today is all about that specialized knowledge. So we are going to give away some stuff today. So make sure you stick around with us. We're going to give away a couple of our most popular now that we just created 2 programs. I'm going to give away another by big demand, actually. One is how to create webinars. And then the other one is how to do online consultations. So these are the 2 brand new programs that we are going to give away today.
Yep. And how we're going to decide those winners is by engagement. So throw your questions in on whatever platform you're on. We'll be monitoring them, and we'll be asking Dori your questions live here. So keep them coming, and that way you can hopefully be the winner today.
That's right.
Yeah.
And just one other little announcement. We are taking the Leap Ahead seminar virtually. A lot of you have sent in some questions about that. We'll be answering a little bit. But I am doing a webinar, a complimentary webinar on Monday at 2 p.m. And it's going to be all about how to protect your business to make sure that you will survive and thrive through anything in the future that might hit us again, like the coronavirus. And it's so important for you to come to that webinar, because on it, I'm going to tell you that business model that has helped many mastermind members of ours go ahead and still be profitable even now. And it's truly, it is a science. And once you implement those principles, then you have that nice insurance to be able to combat anything that comes your way. So join us for that webinar. You can register for it from the InSPArationManagement.com. Right there on the home page, you will see it. It's called Protect Your Business. So make sure you go and register, and we'll see you Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I'm super excited that Leap Ahead is going to be going virtual. We have
You need
so
to
many
speak up.
people that are calling and asking us about it and joining us. And to me, it's one of the nicest things that we could do during the coronavirus,
Yeah.
to be able to still educate our
Well,
clients and people.
the funny thing though about this is that people have been asking us to travel and take it like
Yeah.
different parts of the country. And, you know, I travel enough. I didn't want to have to take the leap ahead on the road. So I made everybody come to us. But now with all this stuff that's going on, I think it's going to really give us that global
Right.
reach, because we literally have people from all over the world joining us on these events. And we are getting so many comments from
We
people
are.
about it. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
Dori, that brings up a quick question I have from Hannah. Hannah has messaged into us saying she's super, super excited about Leap Ahead being virtual, but what happens if she misses one of the modules?
Okay, great question, actually. And we've thought about all this to make it super beneficial for you. And we don't want you to pay for something and not benefit from it. So we have gone out of our way to do this for you. First of all, every module, we're going to have 12 modules during the Leap Ahead virtual seminar. And each module is going to be recorded. It's going to be put on the MedSpa University site, where you get to access all the content. You get to access the Leap Ahead manual, all the tools, everything that comes with it. And you have access to it for 1 whole year.
That's amazing.
So we are really going out of our way to help you. So you have no reason not to really join and get the most out of it.
Hannah's response to that was woohoo with exclamation points.
Woohoo, yes. All
I
right.
agree.
Okay, so let's dive into that specialized knowledge. Actually, that is what the Leap Ahead seminar is specialized knowledge into business, which we all need that specialized knowledge. So there's 2 different types of knowledge, right? You have general knowledge, and then you have specialized knowledge. I'll just give you an example of generalized knowledge, which I'm not very good at, by the way. Like, do you ever sit down and watch Jeopardy?
Every once in a while, but I
Can
really
you
don't
answer?
sit.
Can
no.
you answer any of those questions,
not at
Meaghan?
all.
Can you answer any of the Jeopardy
Nope.
questions? I
Nope.
can probably answer maybe 20% of them.
Once in a while,
I would have to get some of those.
Yeah, Family Feud is fun.
Yeah,
But, like,
once in a while, I can get a geography one, but you know, beyond that, if it's beyond a 3rd grade teacher level, I'm out.
So here you are, that's specialized knowledge. Like these people that get on Jeopardy and can answer questions about things that make like no difference in my life.
Right.
Like, why do you know that? How do you know that is the question. So that's totally general knowledge, where specialized knowledge is very specific to something that you want to be known for as an expert. So if you take our company, for example, we have specialized knowledge for med spa and spa industry. Now that's as specialized as you get, because we didn't just say we're a consulting firm for everybody. We have specialized knowledge for this specific industry. So if we were to talk about you, let's say you're a physician or a nurse practitioner or an entrepreneur, and you're opening up a spa or a medical spa, or you already have a practice and you want to do some aesthetics, or you have a wellness center. Again, that's your specialty, your specialized knowledge that you went to school for. So you opened up a practice, you opened up that wellness center, and that's what you went to school for. So if we take everybody with us as an audience today, you all went to school, you all got certified for something. That's your specialized knowledge. Now, here's the problem though. Sometimes when you get that specialized knowledge for medicine or injections or weight loss, and then you don't have the specialized knowledge on how to run the business, then all that specialized knowledge is not going to do you any good. As a matter of fact, we meet so many people, like at the Empire Medical Training, for example. These are all guys that are just starting the business, starting to learn their specialized knowledge. Right. That's really what they're doing. But with all the specialized knowledge in the world, if you don't attach it with business specialty knowledge, then you could be the best doctor, the best of anything, but you're not going to be able to actually achieve the results that you want. As a matter of fact, Napoleon Hill tells a story about that in the book. Remember about the accountant, the person that was actually working in the grocery store at first, and the depression came. Right. He lost his job. And instead of just sitting around doing nothing, kind of like what we're going through right now, exactly the same. And if you recall, he had bookkeeping, accounting background. So he went to school and he got that specialized knowledge. He brushed up on his skills. But then what happened? He's like, okay, well, I know how to do this, but how am I going to get the word out? Right. So he was actually so innovative that he took his accounting business on wheels. He had a mobile, accounting business. So, but remember how he got the word out about the business? Remember in the story? Do you remember what it was? He actually hired a lady.
And say, was it a book?
It was his mom.
For him. It's what we teach.
I was like,
it's what we teach all the time. So she created a book for him that was so well written and so well put together. It became the sales tool for him to get more accounts to help people with their accounting, which was so badly needed. And needless to say, he became extremely successful because he took his specialized knowledge. He realized what was it that he was not good at. He went and got it, and then he succeeded. So it's exactly what we're trying to get you to do, you guys. So you have your education, your specialty in the clinical aspect of your life. Now what you need is the business aspect. And how can you take all this specialized knowledge and then turn it into monetization? How you can actually make money from it. And so knowledge is not power.
Right. And that's what it even says in here. It's sometimes it can be useless because you're not doing anything with it.
Exactly.
So why clutter your brain with useless stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I think even Ford even used that as an example.
Yeah, I'm going to share that story here in just a second, but let's carry on with this note here first.
But I have a quick question. I'm sorry, Dori.
One second, Meaghan. Let me just finish my train of thought before I forget. I'm getting old. So my point here is that knowledge, people think knowledge is power, but knowledge is not power. It's applying action to the knowledge that you have that makes it powerful. And that's something you need to keep in mind.
Because he says knowledge is only potential power.
Potential power.
Yeah, it comes with the action, right?
Exactly.
And one thing about the book I think is so important is he only wrote 50 pages. I mean, really, when you think about it, 50 pages is not a lot. It's about the content that's in that book.
Exactly.
And so when we have our book seminar, that's everyone's like, how do I write a full book?
Yeah.
We're not asking you to do that, right?
So that's you can write 100. So the book seminar that we do, you guys, we're actually we're thinking about taking that virtually too. But it's all about positioning. If you take your specialized knowledge and then you apply your expertise to it and you market it as your positioning, like you are the expert. Like when people meet me, they're like, you've written 3 books. I'm like, yeah, I've written 3 books. And people like, how do you do that? How do you have time to run a company, do seminars, write books, do webinars? I mean, where do you find the time to do all that? It's because I'm organized. And when you're organized and you manage your time wisely, and you invest in yourself to be really super productive, not just busy. Busy is bad. You have to be super productive, then you're on your way.
Well, I think also one thing that I admire about you is you're constantly learning. Like every day, I feel like we get a new book here for you to read. I mean, nonstop, I'm opening books from Amazon that are Dori's ordering for herself. But the nice thing about it is they're not just random books.
No.
They all have a purpose of a business,
Absolutely.
education-wise.
Yep.
And it's like, rather than, again, just filling yourself with all this useless knowledge,
Junk.
your focus is always on a particular
For
aspect.
sure.
And I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Like-
Did you have something to say, Meaghan? You
I
wanted
did. Actually, I had a question. Beth had just written in while you were speaking about somebody being a clinical professional, and she's just now going through her aesthetics training. And what she's realizing is that the more she joins us on these book gatherings and the more she hears you, she needs business training, but she doesn't know where to sign up. Can you lead us in a direction to tell her where she should go?
Absolutely. So, I mean, our website is a good place to go and see all the different tools. But I would advise you that, like right now, the best thing for her to be, Beth, for you to do is to just attend the Leap Ahead seminar, because you're going to get all the information you need to make sure that you're going to do everything properly in your business. Because we'll go over how to market yourself, how to position yourself, how to generate revenue streams, like how are you going to make money in your business. We go over how to build a team, how to train them and coach them, how to set up your financial picture. There is nothing like this seminar, you guys, really. There is nothing that's specialized knowledge specifically for our industry. There's nothing like it. And it would definitely be a good place for you to start. That's really the foundation of starting to work with us. And if you do the Leap Ahead seminar, then you're really setting yourself up in the right path.
Well, and I have to we have Tanya who's on live on Zoom with us, and Tanya,
Yes,
is
Tanya
in
Miller.
that same situation.
Mhm.
She's just planning to open, and her first step was she's already got her seat for the Leap Ahead seminar because she wants that specialized knowledge in business. So I'm super excited to have you live, Tanya, and we're so happy that you're taking that initiative step to really set your foundation for your business. And this is the first step to success.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
For sure.
every member I've ever worked with has always done a Leap Ahead seminar.
Yes. I mean, literally, we've had thousands and thousands of people.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So that specialized knowledge, sometimes it's so important for you to realize exactly what is it that you need to invest in and actually get in return. So one of the things also in this chapter they talk about is how free education is viewed and paid education is viewed. So growing up, we all went to public schools, or some of us went to private schools. But why do people pay the money to go to a private school when the public schools in the United States are great schools? They have transportation, they have good teachers, they have all these great things, but yet people don't value the public schools as much as they value actually a private school. And even though, like we do, you see what we do some things that are complimentary, like I do the free webinars for people to get to see what we do, but then you have the paid seminars and classes and things. And just like the public schools and the private schools, when you make an investment in something, just like if you want to send your son or daughter to a private school, you're making the investment in that one child that you have. Now your expectations are higher because you've actually paid for something, right?
No, I agree.
But when you get it for free, like some of you may register for the webinar we're doing for free on Monday, but how many people are gonna just blow it off because it's free? Or if we charge for it, then people are going to be more likely to actually attend. So be careful. It's okay to have free knowledge. It's all right. But to get the true value of something, when you invest in it, something just clicks in your head and you're going to get a lot more out of it. It's just very interesting that he talks about that.
And I almost think the same model applies to our clients, because they always say, well, should we give free consultations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we tell them you should give value to
That's
your
right.
consultation, so that their clients in turn recognize that that has value behind it.
Yeah.
And it's the same concept that they use that we've taught them through the years to do that. So
it's very, very important.
Because then they have less no-show, things like that.
Yeah. So the one story that I really like in this book is the one about Henry Ford and how people thought he was ignorant. So here's one of the most innovative, gentlemen of that era, and people were calling him ignorant. Like, what is wrong with you? And you know what? That's one of the things that you will experience moving up the ladder, is that people get jealous. They envy you. They're like, oh, who does she think she is? Or who does Henry Ford think he is? And the story that he tells in here is actually a really nice story. So because the Chicago newspaper was saying that Henry Ford was ignorant, well, Henry Ford got ticked off. So he went and hired an attorney, and he says, nobody's going to call me ignorant because I am not ignorant. So he goes into court, and of course the attorney wanted to show how smart he was, right? True. So he started asking him all these silly questions that are general knowledge, right? Like, how many people did the UK England send to US to fight the war or whatever? Like, who knows that answer? So after a bunch of different questions like that, Henry Ford finally looked at this attorney and said, I don't know why you're asking me all these questions. On my desk, I have a bunch of buttons that at any moment, if I need an answer, I can just push the right button, and I would have all kinds of people that come into my office and give me any answer I want. Why should I clutter my mind? That's what he tells the reporter. Why should I clutter my mind with stupid stuff? He didn't say that, but it is. It's stupid stuff that you don't need to clutter your mind, when what you should be focused on is your specialized knowledge. Here he is making cars, right? The richest man of the time back then, and he's being called ignorant.
To me, I can't even contemplate how that happens, right? Yeah. But I agree with him. Why clutter your brain? Yeah. Just like in our sense. You and I know how to code websites, but we have an amazing team that do.
That's right.
So why should we sit and spend time learning how to code something when we have all the knowledge we want behind us?
Yeah. So, so that's why you have to be very careful on what you start putting in that mind of yours. Because if it is cluttered, and I love the words that he used, why should I clutter my mind? So if it is cluttered, why should you?
Right.
Why should you do that? Because then it doesn't give you that clarity that you need to make sure that you're focused on exactly what it is that you want to do. And when you focus on that, you're going to be a lot better off. So he talks about the word educate and where it comes from, right? The word educate comes from educo, which is Italian. And it's to draw and to pull information from people. So, and that's really what our whole purpose is to educate you, to pull the best out of you and let you reach a higher level of success. So it's pretty cool that you can accumulate knowledge. And that's the whole thing. It's the minute you stop learning is the minute you stop growing. And you just need to keep educating yourself.
And I think one also thing, if I recall correctly in the book, he also mentions how to get that education as far as the cars and that industry, he joined a mastermind group where all of these fellow people could help educate him on the cars. So he associated himself with a mastermind group that was for that specialized knowledge.
Yep. Well, that's what Andrew Carnegie did. The richest man again of the time. He owned all the steel mills, and he knew nothing about steel. Andrew Carnegie knew nothing about steel.
Right.
And that's what he's talking about. It's like, why would I need to know that if my mastermind group knows some of this information? It's pretty powerful stuff. We haven't really talked much about mastermind. I want to share with you how I got started with my personal development, my specialized knowledge. I remember, like, when I was 19, when I entered the professional world, I knew nothing. They don't teach you in schools, like just like the doctors that are with us, or they don't teach you business. They don't teach you how to go out in the world. He uses the example about professors. You know, professors that teach financing are not rich.
Oh.
Like they just carrying on the knowledge, but they're not applying the knowledge. So I would come home because I didn't know and I wanted to know, and because I was driven and I wanted to be the best. I would sit home and I would listen. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these people, but I would listen to Tom Hopkins. I would listen to Anthony Robbins. I would listen to Brian Tracy, all these Zig Ziglar, all these speakers from back then. I went to every seminar. I would just keep learning and learning and learning. And I always learn. You should never stop learning. That's what personal development is all about. That's what specialized knowledge is all about. And when you make that commitment to the learning process and to developing your skills, then nothing can stop you. If you apply what we're talking about with the mindset, and you take the knowledge and you put an action plan behind it, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible.
It's pretty amazing when you really just stop and think about it, right? Like, I guess you're your only limitation.
You are.
You really are.
It's all up here.
It is. You know, and I'm sitting here thinking, how much clutter stuff do I have in my head that I don't need, so that I can actually fill it with stuff that I need?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So my best advice for the audience with us today, excuse me, is when you're thinking about your own specialized knowledge, I want you to think of it in two ways. Yes, you can learn all the clinical stuff and all the things that you need to know as a physician or as a provider or whatever position you have. But then you definitely need the business specialized knowledge. Because if you really don't have both, you're not going to succeed. And that's what they don't teach you in medical school. They don't teach you how to really become a millionaire in regular school. We all need specialized knowledge, you guys. We do. Because if you don't, you're stuck. And that's the problem with so many people. Remember last week we talked about being in the top 5% or the top 1%. The people that continue their specialized knowledge and their personal development are the people that are on top. The rest of the world, once they graduate from high school or college, they don't go again. We were just interviewing a person, Tara and I'll just give you a perfect example of what is the average person do. I hate it. It drives me crazy. I'm allergic to this. So we're interviewing this person. We're considering her for a position with us. Excuse me, a sales position. So we're on the phone, and I can already tell she's not my kind of girl. So I asked her one question. By the way, you should ask that question when you interview people. It's a great question to ask. Tell me what books you've read. I don't even expect them to write it. What book have you read about this topic that helped you grow in the past? And she couldn't tell me one book she read. Not one book.
And it was quite eye-opening. Like you could hear the thumble. Like she was totally taken back by the question.
Yeah, she had no idea.
What do you expect me to tell you, a book?
Could you imagine that people just don't read? Like you finish school and then you think you're done. That's it. Fini.
And the interesting part was this was a young woman who just finished school not too long ago. So she should have been able to recall a book. But
I guess it doesn't always work that way.
And, you know, sometimes it's how they even being on the phone while an interview, and you're just sitting here and we're like, wait, I would never assume to just get on a phone to have a conversation with a potential job.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
she's driving the car.
Yeah. So, and it just amazes me.
Yeah.
But what can you do?
That's another class. So I just want to give you a little word of encouragement, though, that no matter where you are right now with your life, especially with what we're going through, You may not be making the money you want to make right now. You may not have the perfect business that you would like to have right now. You may still be going through school, whatever your situation is. No matter what it is, there is a way for you to be better. So you just need to decide, like we discussed in the past chapter, exactly what is it that you want, come up with that desire statement, and then start working towards it. Because we live in the age right now, it's like the best age ever, because everything is at your fingertips. You can get whatever you want anytime you want it, not like back in the 30s, right? I mean, consider what they were going through. And now you can access the specialized knowledge. But I want to give you a little warning. You have to really be careful who you're learning from. So when I think there's like a little heading in here, like where do I go to purchase specialized knowledge? So you want to make sure that you are dealing with somebody that knows what it is that they're talking about. You want to make sure you are learning from someone that has a proven record, that can show you clients that are succeeding, that the model does work. So just be careful. Don't just listen to anybody, because if you listen to anybody, who knows where they might lead you. So just be very, very careful.
Well, and Dori, I had a question here from Gary, more of a comment that, he's worked with a mastermind group and it didn't get him anywhere. How do you find that mastermind group that's going to help you with that specialized knowledge? I think you were just touching on that with making sure that they have a proven track record. Can you guide Gary a little bit further?
Absolutely. Gary, I've been part of a mastermind group almost like when I went into business for myself after I left my previous job with the resort. When I went out on my own, I knew nothing about business. I mean, I ran a resort, but it wasn't my resort, right? At the end of the day, I was still an employee. It was a job. So having your own business is a totally different thing. And I had told you in the earlier chapter, I almost lost $300,000 making a bad investment. And that was the money I was going to use to open up my company. And after I lost all that money, I was like, oh my God, I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea how to run a business. I knew nothing. So I did go ahead and join a mastermind group. And that's really just that one move 20 years ago, you guys. By me, even though I didn't have the money to pay it, it was an expensive mastermind group. It was $20,000 a year for 3 meetings. That's it. So our mastermind group with InSPAration Management, you get so much more than what I paid $20,000 for. And that was 20 years ago. But anyway, to choose the right mastermind group, again, you want to choose one that's specific to your industry. And what I love about the mastermind group that we have is that they're all like very smart people, and you get so much out of that brainstorming with like-minded people. And if you notice in Think and Grow Rich, he talks about a mastermind group almost in every chapter. In every chapter, from Henry Ford to Andrew Carnegie to Edison, everybody, even though they did not have education, remember? Edison had 3 months of education. Ford had 6th grade education. Yet they were able to accomplish so much. And that's because they surrounded themselves with the right people. And I have to tell you, we have some of the best. And I always tell my team this, by the way. I always say, you know what, guys? We don't need the money that bad. If someone does not fit what we want, we don't need to take their money. They can go find another place. So we're very choosy on who is in our group. So Gary, to answer your question, we have an application process on the website on InSPArationManagement.com. You can go, actually, we just revamped our entire, it's called Flying High now. And our mastermind group is divided into a 3-year program now, where we can take you step by step on how to get started and how to implement and how to become a high achiever. we are doing things. I mean, my brain never shuts down,
No.
does it?
And I think it really fits because, I mean, through this whole situation, we've been talking about business unusual, right? And we're even changing for that situation because not everybody is on the same level in their med spa.
Mhm.
And so that's why I think the importance of how we've
We did it, structured.
structured the
Mhm.
mastermind helps them out,
Yeah.
because then they're not overwhelmed with a bunch of different pieces and know where to start,
Yeah.
right? But one thing I love, and I think it fits in here, is in the book he talks about it pays to know how to purchase knowledge.
Mhm.
And it really does, because you have to find that niche of that specialized knowledge that you want and know how to get into it, and then surround yourself with those people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the nice part about our mastermind group is there's always something new. Like, you will never hear any member of ours say, I have enough knowledge, I don't need any more.
Yeah.
They're literally like, who knows this, who
Yeah.
knows that, and they're just sucking it from as many people as they can. And I think that's the only way you can move forward in a business.
Absolutely.
And they're constantly asking Dori, like, can you start this? Can you do that? Can you educate us on this? And we love it, because that's how we keep growing and
it's called
developing.
a continuous pursuit to
Yes.
happiness and prosperity.
I keep wondering when she's going to stop, but, you know, who knows? I don't know that she will.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just gotta keep going. Let's give away something.
Yes.
So
So
let's give away the We Dare system. So the We Dare system is what I created to be able to do online consultations. It has 3 parts. It's a total of, I think, over 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours of education on this baby. And everybody should have this product, by the way. And I am going to be teaching some of it during the Leap Ahead seminar. And it would definitely make you thousands and thousands of dollars doing your consultations, whether they're in person or online. It's definitely a great product.
my favorite about it is it's a proven model.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people that literally start it and days later make thousands of dollars.
Yep.
And
Sue, one of our high achievers, Sue brought in almost $40,000 in 3 weeks by doing that program.
Right.
I thought it was 60. I think your number is off.
You're right. It was 60. You're correct.
Yeah,
I was gonna say 60, and then I was like, no, I think it's wrong. But no, you're right.
Oh, right. You know, I think because we're always talking about so many different members and hearing so many of their success stories, some of them, they kind of start rumbling together, and
That's
you're
right.
like, which one was that again? Because we
They're
never
all
stop
great.
getting them.
So who should we
So-
give this to?
Well, I have to say, I personally like Gary's question about the mastermind, you know, and knowing how to surround yourself with those right people.
Sounds
So,
good. So
to me,
Gary, you are the winner. Just send us an email to Tara, Tara at InSPArationManagement.com, and we'll get this out to you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank you so much for being engaged and asking your question. So we're gonna give one more here in a little bit.
So we have some people, Melody, Tanya, Yolanda. If any of you have any questions, George, send them in. You have Dori right here
Mhm.
live right now to get your questions asked. Why wait? I mean, yes, we
That's
get
right.
her every Friday, which will soon be Thursday, but
Mhm.
why wait? Why wait a week? Why wait a day?
Yep.
So send your questions in.
Yep. And remember, you always need to continue marketing. The other story that they put in the book here is what the mom did for her son.
Yes.
Remember that part? It reminded me of me and what I do for my son with things. But she basically built a website for him. That's
Right.
before websites
True.
were there. So she created this amazing introduction to what her son's capabilities are, what his special skills, what his leadership skills. So when he went in for that interview, she basically positioned him as already an expert. So he didn't have to start from the very beginning as an entry level. He started as an executive. Now, had the mom not done that, then where would he be? He would be stuck in the entry level. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is because many people make that mistake on how they position themselves, and the way they present themselves is not very good. And that's where the website and the branding and the positioning comes in, because people now, we're in 2020, people now are going to find you online before they find you anywhere else. So when they're looking to you online, they're forming an opinion already of what you are all about. And if that presentation does not look like the presentation that she did for her son to get him that job from the first interview, he got an executive position because of positioning. I like that, it rhymes. He got the position because of positioning.
And he got the salary that came along with it.
Exactly.
Without even having to start at the bottom.
Start on the bottom.
Well,
so and that's what a lot of people tell us is, I'm just starting. We get so many people that say, I'm just starting. And then we try to tell them that, let us help you create your brand. We have a team that does your logo, your website, your branding to give you that great positioning. And then some people say no. And then they go and they look like crap. And they wonder why they're not succeeding. It's like, do the work. Invest the money in your positioning. Because if you're letting people know that you are an expert, you have specialized knowledge, you are smart, you know what you're doing, they're going to come to you. But if your image looks like Kmart, they're not around anymore, you'll be in trouble. So make the investment in your education, in your branding, in your team, so you can rise. But if you don't, then you're going to be like everybody else. And when you're like everybody else, you're not going to succeed.
And I love his quote right here. It says, too many of those who begin at the bottom never manage to lift their heads high enough to see the opportunity. And then they always remain at the bottom.
That's not us.
Nope.
And that's not you.
And then I think that's the difference is when we build websites, because I get to work with everybody that we build, they're literally starting up here versus if you were building a basic Wix website that has one little button.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
That doesn't have all the things that are going to help them grow their business.
But I mean, we've had clients all the time call me and they're like, oh my God, I have leads. Like, how did I do this? And I'm like, because you started here. With that, your head was up. So, but you know what? Some things, Dori, I have to ask you. He talks about the rut in the book. And it's like, how do you not fall into that rut, especially when you're starting off as a med spa, right? There's so many people will say, oh, it's hard to start off. You have to do this, this, and this, or you get to this level and then you stop. What would you recommend for them to avoid that statistic rut that everybody else seems to fall into, where they have that desire ready to go, but they just don't ever take that initial first step?
Well, they're procrastinating and there's fear. So you have procrastination and you have fear and mixed together. And when you have fear and procrastination, you freeze.
Right.
And you get stuck. And when you're stuck, you feel like you're frozen. You just can't do anything. But that lacks a vision and a goal.
Right.
If they keep the vision and the goal in front of them, then
like their definite plan.
Exactly. And then you don't get stuck. You keep moving. And then if you don't have the right people around you, like a mastermind group to like give you that every once in a while. We just got a text from someone. I'm not going to name any names.
Yes.
But I mean, it gave me, I'm getting goosebumps right now. We have this amazing client. I mean, she has great potential. They're doing great, but they just need some structuring, some fine tuning, some more organization, which a lot of you are in that probably the same boat. I mean, you're doing good, but think of how much better you could do. So she sent us this text saying, not only, and correct me if I'm wrong, not only did you save my business.
Or two businesses.
Because
they really are merging two together.
Two businesses, but you also saved our marriage.
Yeah.
Because they work together, they're husband and wife, and that's the most difficult thing to do. And when Tara and I were talking with them, we literally helped them in books. Such a difference when you have the right people around you, just like the guy had his mom pushing him and doing these things, just like Dan Halpin had his coach from Notre Dame pushing him and instilling great things. We all need that person. We all need somebody that can be our soundboard and that can keep us going. Come on, I keep her going. I keep Meaghan going. I keep everybody going. All of our clients going. Like, we can't rest. No. You get rest, you get forgotten. You have to keep it going.
Well, I'm always experiencing that because, again, I mean, I get to work in so many different parts of our business, which I love. And this week I've been working with the clients that we've been doing proposals for, right? So they are starting from the ground level. Yeah. We're doing their business plan, which is like their definite plan, right? And we're just going through it. And sometimes, like, they get that business plan, they got that loan, and they're like, and I'm like, come on, I'm like, time to do the space planning.
Next step.
Let's build the website. Let's do the logo. So I'm constantly behind them, pushing them to the next level because it's great that they have a business plan. Yeah. But what is it going to sit in a Word document on their computer? And so I'm like, did you go to the bank? Did you do this? Yeah. You know, so it's nice that I enjoy getting to kind of be that nudge behind them. Yeah. But through the years, I've gotten to see so many of them actually blossom and bloom and
rise up.
It's amazing. Like, I get to go visit their website and I'm like, wow, I remember when they just had 10 treatments and now they have all of these treatments and team members, and it's warming to the heart to see that happen. But I think it's because of the specialized knowledge that we offer that we're able to keep moving them forward, and they don't have to go anywhere else, right? So it's like they see that. I had one the other day. She's like, I seen the phone ring, I saw it say InSPAration Management, and she said, I knew right away it was Tara getting ready to kick me in the butt because I haven't moved. And I'm like, moving her along. And she's like, it was that perfect moment.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. When we got that text, I had goosebumps, you know? We don't call ourselves marriage savers, but it does make a difference when the place is functioning in unity.
Yeah.
And it really does. And long-term for them.
Yeah,
I mean, two amazing businesses.
I mean, I have to bless anybody that my hat is off to you if you're working with your spouse. I mean, that's like very difficult, and if you can do it, God bless you. That's nice.
We're together 24 hours a day.
I'll be like, get away from me.
I barely get home, and he's like, tell me about your day, and I'm like, oh, it was great.
Let's give away another thing here before we wrap up. So if you have any questions, please send them in. The next one I'm going to give away is the webinar, and we had our Brewing Brilliance. I just have to give a shout out. I don't know if she's with us. Usually she does not miss a webinar, so she probably is Miss Linda from Estique in Pennsylvania. So we were just doing like a little checkup, how everybody is doing post-opening and things like that. And she's like, Dori, I have to tell you, Brianna is still doing her weekly webinars, and we're doing one for men because of Father's Day. So was it yesterday or today that they were doing that? I don't remember.
I think that was today.
Yeah. So they continue to do webinars that I taught them during the coronavirus. They're doing them every single week, and they're generating so many new prospects from it. They're getting so many sales from it. And that's why they keep doing them. So if you have not been doing webinars like what we're doing right now, or social media live, whatever it is that you're doing, to attract new prospects and turn them into clients, you're totally missing out. If they can do it, so she's showing for the male, the Father's Day gifts. So they're doing a webinar on all Father's Day promos and things that men should be having as treatments. So that's innovation. That's specialized knowledge. That's application of the knowledge that they gain. And when you do that, you reach success. So you guys, it's not rocket science. I'm giving you the formula. All you have to do is implement it, and then you get the results.
So it's like making brownies, right? You get the recipe. As long as you put all the ingredients in exactly, you're going to have a perfect brownie.
That's right. Exactly.
I mean, not that I should be eating brownies, but I was thinking about it.
I like brownies, but I like them with nuts. So if you want to send us brownies, make sure they have nuts in it.
You need to have, have a little bit of nuts.
I'm a nutty girl. I love my nuts. You know.
So Dori, Yoshida posted here on our Zoom asking a question. What is the best way to start and build up your experience when you're not quite ready to open your full med spa?
Okay. I would just go get a job somewhere. So if you're not ready to open, I would go and get a position in a place that's successful. Make sure you go to a good place that you can learn from them. So work there for a little while, get up on your skills, and then you can go open up your own place. But I have to give you also another advice, because you have to make a decision. And I've touched on this before. The decision should be, do you want to be an entrepreneur, or do you want to be a person that's working in their business as a worker, as a professional? And I mean, it's all fine and dandy to go get the experience and do the work. That way, maybe you can teach your team. But as an entrepreneur, I want you to think bigger. I want you to think that you don't necessarily have to do the treatments yourself. You can actually start hiring other people to do the treatments, and then you run the business. That's something that you should definitely
Well, and I'm curious
think about.
how Yoshanda left that question is a full med spa. And
Okay.
that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
If she is an owner, but she doesn't have all of the treatments, she could bring people in
Absolutely.
that have that experience
Absolutely.
to do
As
them.
a matter of fact,
She actually made another comment
Yeah.
here. I want to be an entrepreneur. I just
Okay.
want to be able to teach my team.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dori, for the confirmation.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm so proud of you, and I really want you to be an entrepreneur instead of just working. But it's good to get the skills as much as you learn the business, though. You gotta learn the business aspect, because you could be so skilled again at doing treatments, but if you're not so skilled on how to structure the business, then it's not so good. So you should come to the Leap Ahead, and we'll teach you the business part.
And I have to tell you, Yoshanda, Melody, who's also live here on Zoom, made a comment, and she goes, I've been to the Leap Ahead and I highly recommend it. It changed my business drastically.
Drastically.
She used drastically.
Yeah.
I learned something every time I listen to Dori speak.
Oh,
And
thank
it's
you.
true. We've had people that have attended Leap Ahead 5, 6, 7 times.
Yeah.
And every time they tell you, every time I hear Dori, I learn something different.
Yeah.
Which
Tara, I attended
I'm
Leap.
always learning
and that's what I was
something.
going to say. It's because you're always, I mean, to this day, Dori told you 20 years ago she joined her first mastermind group, and she's still a member of a mastermind group, and she's not a member of a small group. Like,
Yeah.
she pays thousands of dollars to be a part of this mastermind group so that she can help each of you. And I think that's the importance. Since I've known you, you've always been a member of a mastermind.
Mhm.
So,
And I will always be.
yes, you will.
I will always be. So I want to really invite you to go and apply to join our mastermind group and see the new program that we've set up. And it would really be a great experience for you. It's an investment.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not cheap, but it is an investment in your future. And normally when people invest in something like this, you should expect to get at least 10 times back whatever you invest. So if you can do that in the stock market, which by the way, yesterday I was like, oh my God, I just lost a ton of money.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take all my money out of the stock market and go put it in real estate or something.
There you go. Or we should be able to start stock market in our mastermind group,
That's
because
right.
they're going to start growing like crazy. But the nice thing is, I think you even mentioned, it's our mastermind group is a group of associates who are experts. And rather than starting at that bottom, you can come into
Yeah.
our mastermind group and learn from other mistakes people have done
Yeah.
to avoid spending thousands of dollars
Yeah.
that you're going to lose and say, oh, I wish I'd have done it.
True.
So,
All right. So let's give this to
Yoshanda?
Kashanda.
Yoshanda. So
There you go.
Yoshanda, thanks for your question.
So you get the webinar.
And to me, that webinar is actually going to help your question as well. So you can start inviting experts on your live webinars to help you start expanding your expertise in your med spa. I mean, perfect hand in hand to me.
Yeah.
And it's always great to have guests on your webinars.
It is.
You do all the time.
All the time.
The entire map series, Dori had another expert on that specialized knowledge of what she was discussing.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more once we get our studio in. By the
Yes.
way, that's going to be delivered July 17th.
17th,
We're going to
yeah.
have our studio, so you guys will be able to see us in a different setting. But we're so excited. So if you want to come down and let me interview you, come on down. We'll do interviews on our new set.
That's where my second specialized knowledge comes in handy, as a handy woman, if you will.
Oh my God, is she ever handy? She's like my best handy. Like yesterday, we had some guys moving some furniture around. We've been decorating a lot and moving things. So I have these guys that are like manly men trying to move a desk. And Tara's like, okay,
I just pushed
move
her
out of the way. And she went like one-handed. She's like one-handed. They're all looking at her like, oh my God.
They had moving men, you know, the moving men disc, and they still couldn't do it. And I was like, move over. Just let me lift it up and move it. And they're just sitting there looking at me.
Oh, it's so funny.
But, you know, I have to tell you, it comes in handy because
it does.
we don't know
We
what
could be I don't know what I would do without you.
I know. We'd be sitting here for days waiting for a hired handyman to show up for simple stuff. And I'm like, nope, move along. I got it. So that's my second career.
Oh
I'm an operations manager for InSPAration Management.
General manager.
And I get to wear the handyman executives.
She gets
hat.
to do handiwork. All right.
I love it.
Hey,
Our
Dori,
next chapter, you guys.
real quick.
I'm sorry.
Tanya Miller just popped in and just said, thank you for this. I look forward to this every week. I'm learning and applying so much. So kudos.
Aw, thank you. I'm so glad, Tanya, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Leap Ahead.
Yes.
Oh, you guys, you have to wait before you go. We just had our conversation, our meeting today with the people that are building the platform that we're going to do the Leap Ahead on.
Mhm.
It's going to be amazing, you guys. It's this very, very nice a virtual experience. You're going to be able to go into a lobby. You're going to be able to go to the auditorium and watch the lecture. You're going to be able to ask questions and go to the chat room. You're going to be able to go to the shop. It's going to be an amazing experience.
And it has like people walking around. And like when I see it, I feel like I just want to jump in the screen and start walking around this virtual Leap Ahead. I'm like, oh.
It's going to be amazing. And then the private member page that we're designing for you, where you can go and all the modules are going to be there. You know, I do things the right way.
Right.
So
now the only thing is,
go check it out.
we have to figure out if they can customize a redhead,
A
blonde, a brunette. You know, have the redhead in the front pointing people where they need to go. So
It's fun.
That'd be great.
excited.
We could create our avatars.
Yeah, there you go.
So the next chapter we're going to do is imagination.
fun.
Woohoo! I love imagination.
Yeah.
You should have like little sessions of just imagination. So that's what we're going to talk about next
You know, I
week.
think sometimes to me, being older, I forget about my imagination sometimes. Like I sit there and think back and I'm like, oh, I remember when I was a little girl. Like
Mhm.
you could take a doll and imagine it was the prince of the world.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I miss that.
Yeah,
like
you need
I
to.
fail to use that imagination as much, right?
You gotta have imagination.
I like that he says it's the workshop of the mind.
That's right. That's what it is.
So-
The workshop of the mind. So work for just a little homework for you for this week is you need to decide what specialized knowledge do you need to really focus on. What clinical specialized knowledge you want to focus on, and what business specialized knowledge you need to focus on. So make sure you join me on Monday for the webinar I'm doing for you to protect your business. And
it's at
then
2.
at 2 p.m. yes, and then check out the seminar and see if you'd like to join us for that as well. So we are right at the hour,
and
we did good.
I'm sitting here and we have so many people on Facebook that are saying thank you for continuing
Aw,
doing this.
Thank you.
And
My
I have
pleasure.
to tell you though, this is not going away. So when we're done with Think and Grow Rich, we have another book that's
I
coming
already
out.
know. I already know what book, but I'm not going to tell you yet. It's another one of my absolute favorite books.
So yeah. So to me, it's just
You're
something
learning
about
so
it.
much, aren't
Oh,
you?
I have to tell you, this week alone, it's like, I don't know. I woke up and I'm like, wow, like the old me is gone. And now it's like this new me. And I'm enjoying speaking and recording things and
Yeah.
doing all kinds of new.
She's really growing.
I am.
She's really going through a big growing period. I'm so
Yeah.
proud. Very
And
proud of you.
I'm so happy. Like,
Yeah.
oops, nowhere
As the
else would I
year
had
goes.
the opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is you're encouraging it, right? Instead of just saying, no, this is your only job, just do this
Mhm.
and that's it. Like you leave here open with the opportunity for every team member to step into something new.
Mhm.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So
Well, you have to give people the opportunity. to grow.
absolutely.
Yeah. And it makes me so happy to see the same thing with you guys. You know, if you
Mhm.
have team members, you always want to give them the opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
Like I would not be happy if she was not growing. I mean, I want her to grow.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love
she's
it.
gonna take over. I tell her, keep learning. All right, you guys. So God bless. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And until next time, start imagining.
Yes.
And stay inspired.
For Thursday.
Yes, remember, Thursday at 4 p.m. is the new time.
All right.
All right, you guys. Take care. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
You all.
Have a great weekend.